So I made a video yesterday. It was about Joe Biden and how he's probably going to lose to Donald Trump. That was my prediction. And I received a lot of flack for it from people close to me, my boys, and also just people on the internet, online, who seriously disagreed with what I had to say. And they disagreed on these grounds. They disagreed because they view Donald Trump as the devil. They view Donald Trump as disastrous, and they are very scared of 4 more years of Donald Trump, as am I. That would be disastrous. That would be disastrous for the future of this country, and he'd do a lot of damage, undeniably. But this is what I think people are forgetting, and this is what I want to focus on in this video. One, I want to focus on why Joe Biden is so disastrous, why I'm so opposed to supporting him. And then 2, what Joe Biden can do in the face of all that. What he can do to win over my vote. What he can do to win over progressives' votes. And if he makes a certain level of assurances and gives us concrete inroads saying that he is trying to bridge the gap between progressives and establishment Democrats, I promise you I will begrudgingly go out and vote for Joe Biden at the top of the ticket. And again, I want to just say in all of that, here's a caveat here. When I say I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden, that doesn't mean I'm not going to vote down ballot. I'm going to vote down ballot, all the way Democratic, right? We have to make sure that we win back the House. We have the House, but also expand our hold on the House and win back the Senate. That has to happen. That's imperative. So if you're not going to vote for Joe Biden, this is speaking to anybody who's still burning your bust, please make sure that you vote down ballot. All right. So I'm gonna get into it here. Number 1, I want to reiterate why Joe Biden is so disastrous. He sucks. No, he's terrible. He has a disastrous record in terms of voting, and a disastrous record in the White House. And then, as of today, is still beholden to corporate interests. It is undeniable. So let's go into the record. Let's go into the history. What has Joe Biden done that has been so disastrous for people like me and people like you? Joe Biden has been beholden to Wall Street his entire career. He voted for a bankruptcy bill that gutted millions of people's finances and made it impossible to declare bankruptcy on student loans. You know how terrible that is? How people are still, like, their credit ratings getting destroyed. They're getting gutted. They can't go out and buy homes and purchase cars and participate in life because for the simple crime that they wanted an education. They wanted to go to college and get ahead. Joe Biden made that possible. He's been beholden to Wall Street his entire career. He's been beholden to insurance companies his entire career. He's held in place this mafia middleman system where you gotta purchase these thousands of dollar premiums and pay ridiculous out-of-pocket expenses, where 500,000 people go bankrupt for the crime of trying to get health care for themselves and their families. Joe Biden's held that system in place, him and Obama. They've never fought in a major way for universal health care. They never have. On immigration, him and Obama were known as deporters in chief. They deported millions of undocumented immigrants. Disastrous stuff. Never fought for a living wage. Never fought for a Green New Deal, aggressive climate action. Him and Obama and other people in the Democratic establishment, they stood idly by as the planet has continued to die. And that is what Joe Biden's responsible for. That's Joe Biden's legacy. On trade deals, voted for disastrous trade deals that outsourced millions of jobs. You go to Detroit now, you go to Dayton, you go to Cleveland, you go to Western Pennsylvania, you go to those areas of the country and you will see devastation. That is in part directly due to Joe Biden's vote on disastrous trade deals, NAFTA, PNTR with China, etc. That's Joe Biden's legacy on healthcare, education, immigration, living wage, climate change, trade deals, gay rights, abortion rights. He has been on the wrong side of history time after time again. And that's because now and for 40 years, he has been beholden to corporate interests. And that's an undeniable fact. You can look at who has been financing his campaigns, who's been financing his political life. It's been Wall Street. It's been billionaires. It's been insurance companies. It's been big pharma. That's Joe Biden, and that's what makes him the face of everything that is wrong with American politics, and that's undeniable. He's disastrous. And if he was elected, it would be the continuation of everything that is wrong with America today. That's exactly what it was under Obama. Nothing fundamentally changed. Joe Biden even said that at a billionaire donor dinner. He told the billionaires, he told these little billionaire fundraisers, nothing would fundamentally change. And that's exactly what would happen under his presidency if he went unchecked. If he went unchecked and was allowed to do his little corporate neoliberal agenda, nothing would fundamentally change. The rich would still get richer. The poor would still get poorer. People would still go bankrupt trying to purchase health care. People would still die because they don't have health care. People would still go thousands of dollars into debt trying to get college education. People would still be oppressed and be broken under the weight of a rigged system. That's what Joe Biden represents. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not exaggerating. That's his record, and that's the facts. Now, with that being said, as disastrous as Joe Biden is, Donald Trump is a nightmare. Like, you're talking about shit, and then you're talking about a pile of shit. You're talking about stabbing me, and you're talking about killing me. All right? That's the difference. All right? So I understand all of that. And what I want to see from Joe Biden are some types of inroads and assurances that progressives are going to be able to be inside of his administration, or that he's turned over a new leaf. And here's what he can do. Here's how Joe Biden can win over my vote. He has to put a progressive on the ticket. All right. Now, either on the ticket or deep inside the cabinet, Secretary of State, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of Energy. I need a progressive who can directly influence policy decisions, not in some little empty suit, just empty role. I need them inside the administration making policy decisions every day and holding his feet to the fire. And I need multiple of them inside the cabinet and perhaps as a VP pick. If he picked Elizabeth Warren as a VP, I'd vote for him. She's a half progressive. She has a foot half inside of our camp. But I know that she'd hold his feet to the fire and push him to the left, at least on some of the issues that I care about. If he made Bernie VP, I would gladly go out and to vote for Joe Biden. A Biden-Sanders ticket wouldn't be ideal, but it would be something. I need a progressive, either as VP or multiple progressives inside the cabinet. If he does that, that shows that he is trying to extend out a hand. He's trying to bridge the gap. And I'm a good dude. I'm reasonable. That would be enough. I would begrudgingly vote for Joe Biden at the top of the ticket if he did that. Another way he can win over my vote is if today he denounced corporate money. Because that money is the root of all the evil, the root of all the problems, all the disastrous votes. So if he denounced that corporate money and said, I'm turning over a new leaf, I'm going to fight for working families, I'm going to do everything that I've promised because I'm no longer beholden to corporate interests. If he does that, I'd vote for Joe Biden. Begrudgingly, but I would. If he denounced corporate money today, because that's showing to me and the majority of the country who doesn't trust people like Joe Biden, that's showing us that he's turned over a new leaf and he will fight on our behalf. That he is no longer the face of everything that's wrong with American politics. He's trying to become a working people's champion. Now, will he put a progressive on the ticket, and will he denounce corporate money? Will he put many progressives inside the cabinet, and will he denounce corporate money? No, he will not. No, he will not. I don't think he will. Leadership won't let him. The establishment behind him won't let him. I don't think that's going to happen. He's too beholden to the donors. He doesn't see another way forward. That's always how he's operated. Joe Biden's been in Washington now for 40, 50 years? That's how he's been operating. I mean, this guy for his entire career has been taking in corporate money and doing their bidding. He's in bed with them. That's how it's been. I don't think that's going to stop magically now that he's 78 years old. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think that he's going to try to reach out a hand to the progressives and try to bridge the gap. I think they despise us. I think they wish we would all shut our mouths and walk away and stop fighting for working interests and stop fighting for the issues that American people care about. I don't think they would ever try to put a progressive on the ticket or put us all inside the cabinet. And I don't think they would denounce corporate money. They are dependent upon that. They don't know any other way to operate. That's who they are at the core. That's my honest belief. Now, if he pleasantly surprises me and does one of those two things, I promise you, I would begrudgingly vote for Joe Biden. I would. Trump is terrible. I don't want to mince words here. I detest Donald Trump. He's kind of funny. Trump is hilarious to watch, but he's disastrous. And the direction he's leading this country down, it's very scary. especially on climate change. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's killing the planet and doing nothing about it. But what I will say is Joe Biden has represented everything that's wrong with American politics as well. He's disastrous. We can get into the debate if he's better or slightly better or whatever, but he's disastrous as well. And I cannot, in good faith, as everything stands right now, cast my vote for Joe Biden. He needs to do one of those two things. And if he commits to putting a progressive in the cabinet, I think that's one of the most likely options. He puts progressives inside the cabinet in powerful positions or puts a progressive on the ticket. That's more likely than happening than denouncing corporate money. And if he does that, I would do it. I would do it. But y'all better hope and pray that the Democratic establishment learns a lick of political savviness and does that. Because if they don't, progressives are not going to turn out to vote for this guy. I'm not going to turn out to vote for this guy if he doesn't make some type of action of good faith, some type of showing that he is trying to bridge the gap. Because if he doesn't, I'm not going to do it. And many people won't. They will go on to lose. And Donald Trump will become president. And every fear that you all harbored about this guy is going to become true. So, that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing. That's what Joe Biden can do to win over the left. That's the honest answer. If you want the 40% of the party who doesn't trust you and doesn't want to vote for you and would either begrudgingly vote for you or does not want to vote for you at all, if you want to win over those types of voters, you're going to have to show a leap of good faith. You're going to have to bridge the gap. And if he doesn't, it's going to be 4 more years of Trump. Let's believe that.
Yeah, you know we vibing. Bitch, we just live.